Are they working hard on inflation? Are they working hard on corruption? I want to know what, since they have the right, they are the only people on this planet who are working hard.
That's right.
Please ask Arati.
I'm sorry, what
please
were you
ask them to
working hard
explain
on?
what are they working hard on?
What were you, 1 second please.
Just a minute.
What were you, Mr. Amin?
You are trying to take the argument back to
Mr. Amin,
6 months ago. This is about the current government, not the past government.
Mr. Amin, the government, one of the first decisions of the Modi government on the last day of May was to abolish all empowered group of ministers and groups of ministers. Admit tonight, admit on national television, Mr. Amin, that all you did was delay processes. And what did any of these group of ministers do? 1 minute, let me complete.
Please ask the BJP person to tell me what decisions have they made without those empowered group of ministers.
And I'm asking.
Please ask me. Please answer this question. What have they done, Arnab?
I'll tell you one decision.
Please don't tell me what they have cancelled. They have gone and abolished the planning commission. But now they're saying, oh, we abolished the planning commission. Now let's figure out what to do.
I'll tell you. Okay, Ashutosh, I see your hand up there. I'm coming to you. But 1 second.
Is this a complete?
I'll tell you one decision you took. If you let me, you took without any empowered or non-empowered group of ministers. You know which one that was? Colgate. There was no group of ministers there. So, Mr. Amin,
I would like to tell you,
Mr. Amin,
that the core issue and the policy was taken by the
the issue of centralization comes back again and again.
I think you ought to answer the decisions taken by the NDA.
I think Vani Tripathi has a lot on her plate to answer. Let us give her a turn and then let Ashutosh come in. Saba, I'm coming back to you. Hartosh, I'm coming back to you as well. Yes, please.
For all the frustration of the Congress party and the amnesia that they are suffering from, it's fine, because actually we don't need to answer them anymore. They're not even the official opposition of the country anymore. But the truth is, Arnab, before we start talking about centralization of power, before I lost the audio link, what I'm trying to say, I will concede to one thing tonight that Mr. Mehta said, and that is that do not just do a blanket criticism of the government. It is a government which is looking centralized to you because it is working. It is working with the supremacy of the office of the Prime Minister in place, and there is a government which is working silently. What I don't agree on, and I will take everything step by step, there is no information deficit in this government. Please do not shout, Mr. Amin. I was very quietly listening to all your eulogizing. That eulogizing goes more with what is happening in your party, but have the patience to listen to me also tonight. The problem is that whatever did not happen in the last government or in the last 10 years is of course being expected of this government. And true enough, fair enough, of course, all of that which was never done or what was undone needs to be done now. But what is happening is that we are not looking at how the Prime Minister and his cabinet ministers are approaching work ethics, what kind of approach they have to governance. They are silently working. There is no information deficit. I completely disagree. Whoever said there is an information deficit, just because
the consumer price index based inflation rose to 7.96% from 7.46% in June. Food inflation rose from 9.36% as opposed to 8.06% in June. My question to you is on अच्छे दिन. मेरा सवाल सिर्फ अच्छे दिन पर है. सीधा सवाल है वानी त्रिपाठी जी, मैं हिंदी में बोल रहा हूँ. शायद आप मुझे अब सीधा आंसर देंगे.
We are growing at 5.7%.
And our inflation is growing at 9.36% in July.
We did not achieve for 2.5 years. We did not achieve it for 2.5 years, and we are achieving it now.
5.7% was in the quarter ending June.
And of course,
you were not in power at the time.
Of course, inflation has to come down. Of course, prices have to be controlled. Nobody is saying that is not on the plate. But of course, when the growth is up, slowly and gradually inflation is
Ashutosh has been wanting to come into the debate. Yes, Ashutosh.
Food Corporation of India
Ashutosh, do you fear consolidation?
Food Corporation of India in the past 10 years.
No, one sec. Ashutosh.
The problem is not the centralization. Arnab, the problem is not the centralization what your other guests are talking about. Today I'm aghast to see the two words from the Vani Tripathi and the way she's talking about. She's saying that there is a Congress which is not even an opposition. And day before yesterday I heard a BJP guy talking about Congress as if they're unemployed. if that is the respect they are giving to the opposition party, that shows they have no respect for the parliamentary democracy. And today I'm also very aghast to see how Mr. Vinod Mehta is talking about.
No love lost for you,
Today,
Mr.
Ashutosh,
because you showed the Delhi, you showed the state of Delhi. No love lost for you, Mr. Ashutosh. Please look within what is happening in your party and what you reduced Delhi to in the 49 days of misgovernance of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. So do not at all give gyan to the NDA or to the BJP tonight. Look within and the strife and the conflict you are facing. But it's fine. But it's fine with hell raisers like you, with parties like yours.
I'm going to have to take a break at some point.
Basically hell raisers.
I'm going to have to take a break. Is there a thing? Now, Vani, you have to let him speak. Vani, I concede you got. I concede you got 282. But that doesn't allow you to take 282% of the time on the debate.
No,
that was on a lighter note. Hartosh, okay, let's say Ashutosh.
Arnab, I very patiently heard every single
okay, Vani, let Ashutosh complete, please.
Very patiently I was listening to everyone.
BJP leaders are today scared. Be the minister, be their spokesperson, or be the small leaders. They know their phones are being tapped. They can't even talk to the opposition leaders.
Really? Do I look scared?
That is where
Mr. Ashutosh, I'm really amused to hear this. Do I look scared? It's fine for you to be using words which actually have no context today. Because in your own context of governance, you have miserably failed as a political party. And the nation has seen so. Not just the Delhi state.
You see, one second.
Failed and the nation has seen so.
To Hartosh and Vinod Mehta and others. 1 second.
You are actually
my question is,
the Congress party tonight is what is interesting again.
Vani, there's a question here tonight which I have for our panelists, which is a serious one.
For us, which exposes the nefarious designs that you have, which probably will be a story
my question
which will
to
be told
Hartosh
again,
and Arati
to Delhi if it faces
and Vinod Mehta is this.
I'll request my BJP leader to learn some manners to speak on television.
Who's that? Ashutosh. Who's saying that?
Really? You also learn some manners before you start telling me that we are scared. I mean, do I look scared? I think you are scared basically to answer my questions as far as the misgovernance of your own party and your leaders is concerned.
All right, gentlemen. All right, 1 second. I have to take a break. Am I going to be allowed to take a break here? 1 second. Please, my question to Hartosh, Vinod Mehta is this. A point of concern, it appears to me, which is why people feel the Bihar result was like an oxygen cylinder of hope, is that of non-existence of an opposition. My question to you is, are issues of communalism and centralization. You keep raising these issues. Suppose the opposition parties, is this going to be an alternative when Modi says, I'm going to give you Vikas, I'm going to give you development, I'm going to give you 5.7%. I'm going to get the right mood in the country. Is this going to be really a mood spoiler, or will the opposition parties have to find something else to hang on?
It's not just the opposition parties. These are important questions. I think it would help if the BJP was willing to address any of these questions in a manner where we can get a straight answer. The centralization is such. I could ask you a simple question which Naresh Gujral is well placed to answer. We've been hearing over and over the rhetoric. Not just the BJP, even the allies are not speaking. We've been hearing rhetoric all over from the RSS, from ministers in the BJP government. Is India a Hindu nation? What does Naresh Gujral think of it? Can we get a serious answer on this?
Naresh Gujral, will you answer that, or will you dodge it? Will you say it's irrelevant? Will you say it's not to be asked right now? 5.75% is the question to be asked, and the answer to be got, Naresh Gujral. Answer that, then I'm coming to Vinod Mehta and Arati Jerath, and then going to a break. Yes, Naresh Gujral, we're all listening. What will you say to that? To what Hartosh asked?
Both Mr. Badal and I have gone public. We made it very clear that we believe that the strength of this nation and our democracy is our unity in diversity. And we disagree with the BJP there. And we have said it very clearly that while we are their allies, while we have a lot of affection with them, but on this issue, we are very clear that the religious identities of the minorities must be respected.
No, sir, that's not your position alone, but can you exercise enough influence on those who are making these comments.
No, absolutely. And I think, Arnab, there is a disturbing disconnect between the lofty speeches that Modi has been giving, whether from the ramparts of the Red Fort or in Parliament, and what is actually happening on the ground. And this is something which should worry Modi, because he seems to be, sort of cocooned in an ivory tower and refuses to look at what's happening around him. Why should he not tick off people? Why should he not tick off Yogi Adityanath, who has been making inflammatory speeches all over UP over the last few days? And they've done it deliberately. They seem to be sacrificing principles for short-term electoral gains.
BJP came to power, their ministers and spokespersons feel that they have double the time than anybody else. They can just go on and on. Now, any assessment of Mr. Modi's 100 days in power, it's a work in progress. But the second thing is, if we try and paint a black and white picture to say it's all bad or it's all good, we are not going to get near the truth. I am no supporter of Mr. Narendra Modi. But I think that in the first 100 days, there have been some good things that have been done. I mean, why deny that? And some very bad things that have been done. So to dismiss him and to say that he's a complete failure or he's a complete success, we don't know. But there are some ominous signs and there are some good signs. I think Saba and Arati and Hartosh, we must accept this.
No, we are all accepting.
And public opinion, by the way, public opinion.
We're just flagging some issues, that's all.
I think it's deliberate, Arnab. I think both these planks are deliberate. It's not as if he's not aware of what is happening. There is a deliberate showcasing of a great leader, a leader who could perhaps dominate the world stage along with leaders who are known. Nothing wrong with that. There is that at one level. He surely knows what is happening with Yogi Adityanath. There is a usage, a very cynical use of politics.
So they separated their politics from their government.
Absolutely.
They separated their politics from their government.
And we can't say that he is unaware.
Arnab, the question is, if you remove the hype and the media coverage from things, and if you remove the discussion that the BJP spokesperson talking about ethics and morals and character, can she please still answer the question about corruption, about inflation, about education, about the divisive politics, about the riots? She's still not talking about that.
One second, gentlemen, I on the other side, and I'm taking a short break. I need to. On the other side, my question is, on the one side, the BJP says, what about the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana? Which gives a bank account, a debit card, insurance amount of 1 lakh for every person in this country, every poor person in this country. Should we talk about that? Or should we talk about Yogi Adityanath? And my question when I come out on the other side will be, why should it be this versus that? Why can't there be both? And that, therefore, can be the construct for an inclusive India. Ashutosh, I saw your hand go up. Why can't this country have both? Social amity and economic progress. Absolutely. We'll talk about that. The debate continues. Only the first break on the special edition of the Newshour Tonight.